Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading a multi-character exeter by me, so let's get into it. Cyno. Cyno is really surprised when he told him the news. There were big news to him, and he does make sure to adjust his treating accordingly. He's really nice to you. I mean, that's the usual, but with the addition of him spoiling you, like a whole lot. He'll wake you up to breakfast. He will cook dinner for you. He will always clean up after you and do everything that you have to do for yourself. Instead of you doing it, he probably overdoes it. He just worries so much, and you would have to tell him that you're really okay. And honestly, as someone who's in the academia, or at least has been a part of it, he should know, and he does. But there is a part of him that's all rational, and there is a part that loves you, and somehow, the part that loves you always wins over. So that's why he's been acting so worried, and overdoing all of that. It's honestly sweet, and after a lot of talking with you, he does calm it down a little bit. Childe. He'd be extremely happy to hear this. I mean it. He would be overjoyed, wrapping his arms around you and lifting you up into the air, spinning you around. These are the best news he's ever heard. And he's more than ready for something like fatherhood. He would love it, actually. He loves children and he loves you. So something like that, like a whole family with you, it sounded like the best thing in the world, which is why he was so eager for it. And he does spoil you a lot during those 9 months of your life. He always makes breakfast for you. He's an amazing cook, and he'd be eating up on good diets for people who are pregnant. And he would take you to doctors, trying to make sure that you're healthy and eating all the healthy food that you should get. He'd probably be a little bit strict with you and what not to eat that would be bad for you during a time like this, but honestly, you do make him cave pretty quickly, always with only just a look of your eyes. He was down horrendous, and nothing in the world could save him from how much he loved you. Albedo. Albedo would be surprised by it, but he's had a lot of experience with children. Mostly it was Klee, but Klee was one hell of a child. She could be counting this down on her own. Regardless, he does have the experience needed, and though he worries a little bit at first, he doesn't show it, and he treats the news as a good thing, because it is, and he's more than looking forward to it. He just needs to prepare, at least emotionally, and he does take good care of you during that time. He does not overdo it. He's not the type to panic over something that he already knows a lot about. He knows that he doesn't need to just baby you or something. You're good enough to do things on your own. Just don't overexert yourself. Like cleaning and things that require a lot of movement. He wouldn't be letting you do anything like that past the 3rd month. And as for spoiling you, he's pretty affectionate during that time. Spoiling you physically, as in physical affection, and with everything that you could possibly ever need. Venti. For everyone else, the answer was pretty straightforward, but for Venti, nothing ever was. When he heard about this, he was completely shocked, and it was kind of weird for him. He didn't know whether to be happy or scared. He was mostly scared, to be honest, but he didn't want to show you. However, you could just kind of tell by his lack of enthusiasm that was always shining whenever he did something that he liked. And he told you how scared he was, and how he was so terrified that he wouldn't be good enough as a parent. That's when you started to reassure him, telling him he'll do more than a great job, and you trust him. And it's enough to put him at peace. for a good while after. He's very carefree, but he does make sure you're taking good care of yourself and eating well. And if there's anything that you need help with, he's more than willing to help you. He doesn't like it when you exercise a lot or do a lot of work though, so be careful about it, because otherwise, he will lecture you. Yes, Venti can actually do that. Scaramouche. Scaramouche is a sweetheart, but telling him he'll be a parent? God, it does make him panic a lot. He'd be startled, and at first he might treat it like bad news, because he's sure as hell he can't parent. But once you tell him how kind he is, at least with little children, and how he already knew a lot, he does kind of begin warming up to it. And regardless of whether he likes it or not, he's more than going to take care of you, whether he wants it or it was just you who did. And I'll tell you what, he does want it. Just does take him a while, so be patient. But as for taking care of you, like I said, he's very gentle and very sweet. And you better be sure he's going to be doing everything that he can just to make you comfortable. He'll be even getting you a maid for when he can't be with you and you need someone to take care of you. He always worries a lot about you, and he just wants to make sure you're comfortable and safe. Tighnari, he'd be a little bit weirded out at first. His expression almost looks funny, but you're scared because he doesn't seem to like it. But then, you actually tell you that he does. He's just kind of surprised, and it really caught him off guard. And as for taking care of you during your pregnancy, he's really sweet. He would always wrap his arms around you, cuddling you close, and admiring your tummy. He does talk to your baby a lot before he's even born. And he's such a sweetheart. It almost makes you want to cry. And as you can guess, he cooks for you. He already cooks a lot for his friends. And he probably already did that before your pregnancy, but he's more than likely to keep doing it consistently after. And as for cleaning or doing anything that requires a lot of activity, you better forget about it, because he's not letting you do it. However, he does not restrict you to bed or something. You can move around as you like, just not a lot of overexertion, because he worries a lot about you and the other family member waiting in the way.